Hey Simmers, I'm back with a speed build. This one I took some inspiration from another YouTuber, MsGryphi. You can find her channel in the video that inspired this in the below. She took uh, some live edit objects in that and did a converted school bus into a tiny home. So I decided I like that idea, but I wanted something just a little different. So I went with the idea of a double-decker school bus. One of the things I did have problems with was trying to figure out wheels, how to do those. So what I decided to do was just to cover everything up with plants. You'll see that later in the build. Um, I had a few ideas with it. The idea that I eventually settled for, like, the story of why they built this particular bus was they spent most all their money for their renos, taking out the engines and stuff like that, putting in the kitchen and the bathroom, and everything else is like stuff they found at flea markets, slightly used, homemade kind of stuff. Uh, a big thing for it was trying to pick out windows. I eventually settled on one type of window that I use everywhere. Me getting rid of a notice thing. Sorry about that. I decided on these windows, but one of the big problems that I eventually had was on the top floor. These windows didn't disappear. So there'll be a couple of spots where I've tried closing the program and reopening it to see if I can get rid of the windows up top, but they're always there. They always show up, and it's kind of annoying for when I was trying to do the build. Uh, but yeah, this is just a simple build. I'm going to avoid the controversy that's going on with the next game pack. The only thing I can say is I'm hoping from what it looks like, yeah, it's Star Wars, but I'm looking at it from more of a what can I build with what they provide. And my ideas are all cyberpunk type stuff. But that's all I'm going to say on it. We're going to get back to discussing this build. Um, some of the things that I couldn't figure out how to do was how to do like I didn't want to copy her ideas for like the front end of the bus and stuff like that. So I figured a lot of the buses around here where I live, they're all flat-faced buses, so I decided to keep that as the general idea. Uh, the idea is they also took out the sign saying what route it is and all that, and they took out the secondary door that most of these buses have. Here's an example of where I'm like, they spent most of their money. They went for high-end appliances and these beautiful counters for the kitchen. I was wanting to put a duct in. I think I left that in. It's just so high up. A few items that I think I forgot to put in here is a uh, temperature thing and the smoke detector. I'll make sure I include those before I upload it to the gallery. I figured it's not going to be overly that bright and colorful. Like I said, the idea of the story, the person who built this is he decided to pick up used furniture. I went with this, but then some of one of my recent builds I used like the Bohemian and this kind of furniture. So I'm like, no, no, we're gonna change this out later. But yeah, they spent most of their money on their bathroom and the kitchen. So um, and they spent some money on landscaping. Uh, to me, it does have a bit of a look of us. I This is where I start to kind of question when I put in like that end table. It kind of started to spark. Oh, maybe they got used stuff because even the carpet looks like it was just something they found off the side of the road. Um, there's no dining room table in here, but I do put a big tree in here. A couple of big plants. I don't know why I don't use them often. But when it came to a desk, I decided the desk that I use because it kind of looks like it's a sawhorse put with a. Basically, it looks fashioned. You'll see those mushroom lights everywhere. Again, I figured they went to a dollar store and saw these lights for like $1 to $5, so they spent like so little money. The tapestries are from Island Adventure. I'm like, oh, they found these at a garage sale. So I just kind of wanted to really make it look like, oh, they found stuff flea market garage sales. I put in a nice bed, then I switch out for one of the mattress ones from Eco Living later on. Uh, One of the things we'll be coming up to soon is a spot where I cut trying to get rid of the windows because as you can see they're in the way even though I've got the walls all the way down. Again, dressers look battered and bruised. I wish they had a mirror that kind of fit that. As I put those plants in, I realized, oh, I could put the dining room up here, but no, there's no dining room in this place. Yep, there's some more of those mushroom lights. And we start working on the bathroom. My typical what is it? Spa day wallpaper and flooring for bathrooms. But yeah, like I said, the other spot they spent most of their money in this renovation was putting in the bathroom. I wanted it to look nice. Eventually, I just went with my default mirrors that I tend to use a lot, which again make it easier when I go to put clutter onto the counters. Uh, I didn't put that much clutter into this build. Uh, it was kind of fun building this up. Trying to get this towel, I kept on moving it because it felt like it was sitting so far forward. I think I spent more time on that than I should have. And I decided it wasn't gonna be it was gonna be a mismatch of styles just to get the idea of what I wanted. Raise the plant up and put it on the thing. I wish some of these bigger plants you could pick between being on here. And here's where I cover up where the wheels should have been. We're just gonna stick a bunch of plants. So we get a whole bunch of me just sticking plants up. Um, One of the other items I add in is a small little pond. But I figured, yeah, the idea is they bought the bus at an auction or something, and they moved it here, and they just took out all the mechanics like the engine and all that, and made it into their nice little home. I eventually do put in a pond. And I kind of build a workshop area where I put the robot building station. And originally I had the fizz station. I basically broke how many tiles you could have just so I could get the roof on, because this fits into the largest size of the tiny living residentials. I Here's where I decided I kind of want to put a pond in. Yeah. So if you haven't could tell, I don't script these. I just kind of go with what I see in the video and kind of discuss it. I tried. I put this pond in. I spent a bunch of time just putting rocks around because I don't like the edge of the fountains. It doesn't seem natural. Like I wish there was just an option that you could have. I'm trying to poke at my screen while I'm just where you can pick the edges for the fountains where they should have one where it's like you can put in a bunch of stones that's just randomly patterned out like that, just so you can make it look like a pond or make it look like anything but like this rectangle or oblong shapes put in it. Trying to figure out plants, that's always fun. Building a path out to the workshop. Eventually, that's the whole thing's lined with plants because, well, that's my solution to many things. Put plants. But yeah, I figured they had this little workshop. They build stuff like they do build robots and stuff like that. Bit of a few skill building things. There isn't many. Uh, Gave them a bike as transportation. I changed the fizzy maker out for a workbench later, as well as some of the other furniture. A nice flower-covered mailbox. Put in a few more trees to add a bit more color. Didn't do any terrain paint other than the path. I do love the eco-living items. Didn't put any traits on it, but I wanted to. Here's where I start adding the lights to make it look more like the front of a bus. Trying to figure out how to make a grill. Eventually, I settled on using, I think it's this wood, and just shrinking them down, making them dark. And it actually makes it look like it's an actual grill on the front of the bus. I put one on the back as well. And then I go get the lights from Living that you can craft to make the turning signals and the headlights because they look so much better. Got your turning signals, yeah. Even though it's hidden, I still stick it there. Stuck some turning lights and tail lights at the back. And once I put the sheet in and decided to do the unlock things, this is where I decided to use a few of other items. Like I said, I changed it for the woodworking bench. It took me a while to find it. I don't know why it took me so long to find it. I think I answered yeah, I was answering my phone at that point. I don't use, like I said, I don't put much clutter in, but I figured I'd put a plunger. I spent so much money. And this is where I changed it the bed. I go with one of the eco-living mattresses found type things. And here's where I change it. I go with the items you can get at the flea market. Those rare find items because again, they look like they've been used, kind of tattered. I mix match the cabinets so it looks like they were just items they found. I realized some of the plants were sticking through. I didn't like the end tables, so I changed it out. And then I enlarged one of the found TVs with the rabbit ears. And now we're into our build tour. Part of the film. I just discuss most of it. It all depends on the angle you look at it, whether it looks like a bus or not. So tell me how I did. Uh, I'm looking forward to my next build idea. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to do a more normal style house for my next speed build, not a modern type build. I've been doing a lot of those. So As I said, they spent most of their money on the kitchen, the bathroom. Everything else is fine. So I wish there was a mirror that looked like it was found. Not much clutter. They just moved in. They really haven't had time to really mess up the place yet. I have a few ideas of what I want to do for my next speed build. We'll see. And yes, we do go up on top of the thing and look at the stuff on top. I like how the pond turned out in the end. So leave a comment, like, share, and until next time, Susu!